I've noticed something. Nigerian men can gist for hours. We can argue about football, about politics. We can complain about fuel price. We can laugh over memes. We can even debate about love and relationship. But when you ask a Nigerian man one simple question, bro, how are you doing? He becomes silent. Not because he doesn't have an answer, but because he has too many. And the truth is, many of us have become experts at surviving, but strangers to ourselves. Welcome back to the Nigerian Man podcast. I am your host, Sanji Marvel, and today we'll be talking about something many of us have carried for years without ever giving it a name. Today, we're talking about why Nigerian men don't talk. Before we go any further, I need you to think about something. Growing up, how many times did you hear, be a man, stop crying? You are the first son, men don't complain. No be small thing they make man cry. At first, they sounded like ordinary statements, but when you hear them enough, they become your identity. Nobody teaches us how to process disappointment, no. Nobody teaches us how to grieve. Nobody teaches us how to fear. Nobody teaches us loneliness. Instead, we're taught endurance. So we endure until endurance starts looking like emotional isolation. Somewhere along the line, silence became proof of strength, and we've been paying for it ever since. Think about little boys. When a little girl falls, people rush and say things like, "Sorry, are you okay? Come here." But when a little boy falls, the first thing he hears is, "Oh, yeah, stand up, you're a man, nothing do you." He wipes his tears, not because they disappeared, but because he learned that certain emotions are not welcome. Fast forward 20 years, that same boy is now a husband, a father, a brother, or a friend. He's carrying bills, expectations, pressure, failure, and responsibility. But inside him lives that same little boy, still trying not to cry. Hmm. Let me tell you about somebody. Let's call him Samuel. Samuel is 31 years old. He lives in Lagos. He works 6 days a week. He sends money home every month. His younger sister's school fees, his mother's medication, house rent, electricity bills, data, transportation. He's doing everything right. Everybody says Samuel is responsible, but nobody knows Samuel hasn't slept properly a month. Nobody knows sometimes he sits inside his car after work while his engine is off. He just keeps staring. Not because he does not want to go anywhere, but because going home means pretending everything is okay. One day, someone asked him, "Samuel, how far?" He smiled and replied, "I'm good." That was the end of the conversation. What nobody knew was that "I'm good" was the biggest lie he had told that week. How many Samuels do you know? Or better still, how many Samuels are listening right now? Here's what people don't understand. Silence doesn't remove pain, it only hides it. And hidden pain always find another language or expression. Sometimes it becomes anger, sometimes it becomes drinking, sometimes it becomes work, sometimes it becomes emotional distance. Sometimes it becomes a man who provides everything except his presence. People will call him wicked, meanwhile, he's exhausted. People will call him emotionally unavailable. Meanwhile, nobody ever taught him emotional availability. We are seeing the symptoms, but we've ignored the wound. And maybe you've tried opening up before. Maybe you've trusted someone. Maybe you finally admitted I am struggling. But then, months later, during an argument, everything you confessed was used against you. That kind of betrayal teaches dangerous lessons. It teaches men never to say too much, never let people know where it hurts, never let them see you weak. And so, another wall is built, another conversation dies, another man decides I will carry it alone. But here's something I've learned: strength isn't pretending you never bled. Strength is treating the wound before it becomes an infection. Talking isn't weakness. Talking doesn't make you less of a man. It simply means you are human. Now, I'm not saying you should tell everybody your problem. Not everybody deserves access to your vulnerability. But everybody needs somebody. Maybe it's your brother. Maybe it's your father. Maybe it's your mentor. It can be your wife. Or maybe it's one trusted friend. Maybe it's your therapist. Maybe it's you writing something down in a notebook nobody will ever read. Because healing begins the moment your pain stops living in darkness. So let me leave you with this. What if the strongest man in the room isn't the one carrying everything alone? What if he's the one brave enough to admit I need help? Because courage has never been the absence of pain. Courage is refusing to let pain define you. The Nigerian man has carried silence for generations. Maybe our generation doesn't have to. Maybe our sons deserve fathers who know how to say, I am proud of you. I am hurting. I love you. I am trying. Maybe this is where healing begins. So if this episode spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a brother, a friend, a father, a colleague. Not because you want to fix him, but because you want him to know he's not alone. And if you are that man who has been carrying everything by himself, I hope today reminds you of something. You don't have to carry it all alone. This is the Nigerian Man Podcast. I am your host, Sandy Marvel. Until next time, carry yourself well. Thank you.